And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Masaki from State 483, and today we are going to talk about some of the new changes in the game. I guess since maybe the last time we did any of these change video, which is never. Anyways, yeah, there's actually some really exciting changes. I haven't actually gotten even the latest patch yet, but I think a lot of the kind of like quality of life items have already been imported into the game so far. So let's cover those today. First up, I want to talk about is the underground exploration change. So previously, one of my gripes is like if I don't do these events inside underground exploration, whether it be these little challenge events with the mine, the caves, or these kind of like what they call like work events where you have to send troops. They do something, dispatch troops for like usually about 8 hours, and then they give you some rewards at the end. The problem with these events is if you're lower level on these research, the probability of gaining higher like rewards is low, so you sometimes want to skip them. But the problem is then you could have forgotten about maybe some events you didn't do on that map, and then you're kind of missing out with respect to how much like rewards you can gain. So one of the changes they made recently, and I just noticed this morning, is they added in these little indicator on each one of these levels. So as you go into deeper levels, you're going to have more events and quests, whatever. So you can see very quickly, like on this map, as an example, I have one more, they call it special events, that's on that page. So the dispatch events that I have not finished yet. Now, this doesn't mean it's a mission that you have already dispatched or have not dispatched. So in this case, for example, on this map, I do already have it dispatched. Let's find it. It's this one right here. So my dudes are already doing their work. It's just going to finish in 2 hours. But it's still going to show a 1. However, once that's done, it will then turn into a 0. And so you can quickly high level look at these and notice, hey, like, yep, all the bosses are killed. All of the missions are done, or they're not done. So you can quickly go back and say, hey, I need to do some missions on the first map or whatever. So this is really nice to quickly know about those. Okay. So now with this type of indicator now in place, honestly, I probably will do the solo dispatch missions at the end of the event and then not fear something like, hey, I missed out something. That's usually why I don't do them earlier, because I was always afraid I was going to miss something. But now with an indicator, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Cool. Let's talk about another really exciting change. So if you woke up this morning, you probably noticed that the hero training area is like totally different now, especially if you're Plasma, let's say Plasma 8 or higher. You're going to have noticed that this number of slots has increased by like, I think 15 more slots. So it used to be, I would recommend to people, hey, like as you, unlock more heroes, you're going to have to start taking certain heroes out of the training slots, right? And the whole idea here is because, well, you want to put your best heroes in here to train and not necessarily the ones that, like, for example, Trish here, it's kind of like from T2, or Jeb type of thing. And they're just not as useful now as they were when, my state was younger. But because they have added new slots, I actually have extra slots. I can put more people in there. So this is great. You don't have to trade anymore. I think as they release new heroes, they're going to continue to open up more slots, it looks like. So that's actually really excellent. This way you can have all your heroes at the same max level, and you don't really have to worry about like how to balance that out, which heroes to take out, to put in, etc. So all those like really annoying things are just kind of gone. Okay, so let's talk about something that maybe, this isn't really new in this update, but it's something that people might have missed, which is this permanent recycling center. So if you recall, there's an event called recycling where basically it allows you to take some of the items that you accumulated but you don't need. For example, like all this like little gift or these like little fragments or something that you have left over from events, right? Now, what they've added in here is this new recycling mechanism. So in the recycling center, you can actually recycle different items that you may not need. For example, I'm already maxed out on Chief, so I can just go ahead and recycle all of these things, right? And then in this case, like if you recycle the badges or what I would call like common items, you're just going to get like resources, which again, I don't really need, but I also need the tags less. Now, maybe there's an argument to be made for like, hey, maybe I hold on to tag. What if they increase max level for the Chiefs later? Fair point, but honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. Don't recycle your combat manual, because even now with Even though they've added more slots in the training center for hero training, these are still going to be useful long term because you may have a hero that you maxed, and then getting them to real max level is still going to be better than using the training center. These things, the badges, are usually used for upgrading your heroes, but here's the reality. You're probably going to use purple badges whenever they release a new purple hero. A blue badge is pretty much not even useful anymore, just because they already have like all the blue heroes released. I don't think they're gonna release any more. And the legendary badges, while useful, you don't need this many, and there's plenty of ways in the game to get them, so you don't really need that either. Same thing with the skill books. Once you've pretty much maxed out your skill books, the new legendary heroes after I think Generation 4 don't max out skills using skill books anymore. They max out through fragments. So as you kind of upgrade their rank, they get newer skills unlocked automatically. It's both good and bad because it does cap your skills at certain upgrade level. But that also means that all this extra books, you can just trade them in. The cool thing is for these, what I call higher tier trade-ins, you actually get something called the random crate recycling center. What this thing does is basically it gives you a bunch of resources which you don't care about, but it does give you skin tickets, which is pretty cool. So I think the rate is about actually they have it here, but it's pretty close to like about, if you open, let's say, and daily you can trade for 2,000 of these per day, right? So make sure you're doing that because it's going to take a while for me even to like go and trade in all of these legendary hero badges. But basically what you're looking at is 2,000 of these crates a day, and 2,000 of these crates a day is probably going to give you about 230 or so skin tickets, which is cool because now you can have more tickets to go and buy like your, different frames, March skins. Honestly, with this, maybe you can even get the HQ skins because it's not too far. It's pretty within reach now if you can get 200 skin tickets a day. So that's pretty neat. Okay, so don't forget about that. It's something that probably a lot of other players missed, but now you know about it. The other thing about the recycling center that I don't like is in the beginning, they were definitely testing this out, and they had for you the ability to trade in your hero fragments for the heroes that you basically don't need anymore, like the blue, the purple, some of the gold as well. They quickly took that out because I think they have other plans for those fragments. I don't know why they took it out specifically, but it's gone. So you can't recycle those anymore, which kind of sucks for people who've already maxed out their heroes, don't have any need for fragments. I think, for example, I don't even think it's going to show me, right? I don't it's a hidden thing, but like, for example, not Nanami, if we look at like Rusty, if I can see the number of frags I have for Rusty or a Ghost, it's quite a bit still. So I suspect that means that from time to time, the recycling event will still roll around and give you the opportunity to recycle those fragments through that event, but it just not a daily thing, which kind of sucks. So these crates are actually kind of nice to have. Alliance Throwdown. This is just a minor thing, but like for Alliance Throwdown, whenever a task is deleted or refreshes, it no longer jumps this entire screen to the top, which I found very, very annoying when I'm working different tasks, deleting them, etc. So that's kind of cool. So as this screen refresh now, you can just kind of if you're one of those players and you know how this works, you're waiting for these cooldowns to happen to grab whatever task you want. Sometimes in the past you had to scroll down really quickly to go find it. Now you're kind of good to go just to sit here and watch it and wait. It won't refresh the screen up anymore. Let's talk about some of the Migo changes, which I think were pretty cool. So first of all is this general board. This is a little bit different UI than before. Nothing really changed though. I wish, again, there was a collect all button for this, just so I don't have to click through every single one. But that's the change here. And okay, of course, every week, make sure you're collecting your weekly Migo points. The thing I like about this screen now is that the store button is more prominent up here, so you can go ahead and buy all of your pieces for Migo points. And that means also you can, for example, look at ranking from here. So it's pretty straightforward to see that kind of data. All right, so that's Migo. Let's see. I think the upgrade ones, so if you've been playing some of the Migo, you know the upgrade. It hasn't really changed. This is pretty much the same UI as before. Cool. More exciting also about Migo is the ability to hide buildings. So as you can see, we've been talking about base and how there's not enough space. There was some sort of talk about potentially getting the game to give us more space. Like, so this base itself will expand a little bit more. It seems like the developer has gone the other way, which is to say, hey, can we make it so that certain buildings that are not used, not necessarily something you have to see all the time, can be hidden? So these buildings include like not just the Migo buildings, which, you know, right here, Migo Center, etc., but it also includes like your things like warehouse or command station. These things just give you a bonus, right? But I don't need this building to be out here somewhere. So it's kind of nice. It doesn't do anything. Like, you can't even, you know, essentially you can't do anything. You just look at information. It grants you a higher rally capacity. But I could just hide this building, which is nice because now it's gone, and well, I can build something else in that place. So you actually have a lot of options to hide different buildings. I think I've hidden all the ones I could. I guess the statue also is something I can hide as well, but I actually kind of like it, so I'll use it as a base decoration. One super exciting update is this concept of a new plasma called lightweight plasma. So if we look at plasma now, you have, of course, your normal plasma core. You have your polymerized, which is like, if you want to think about condensed, it's just used for P5, plasma 5, and higher upgrades. And we have something called lightweight plasma core. So this thing is pretty much used for researching troops or just doing these research within the Institute of Plasma. Traditionally, you had to use normal plasma to do this. Whenever you get a chance to like purchase or collect rewards for the lightweight plasma, they usually just run at about like double the rate, meaning for every reward that you usually can get one plasma for, you're going to get 2 for the lightweight. But the lightweight is only used for research, so just be aware of that. You can't, for example, use it to upgrade buildings. It's not meant for that. But I'll show you how that works too. So within your research for any of these like specific troop upgrade pieces, you'll now notice in the UI, it's going to say like how many plasma you're going to use. This UI will prefer the lightweight plasma first before it uses your normal plasma. So in this case, where this upgrade is going to take 240 plasma, it's going to spend all 70 of my lightweight plasma. Then it will dip into my normal plasma and grab, I think, let's say 170. So that's how basically this UI now works. So it's pretty good. I think the whole point of why they released lightweight plasma was a lot of players are complaining like T11 and all these troop upgrades is pretty unattainable for free-to-play players. And so this upgrade is more or less meant as a way to kind of give the free-to-play players a bone. Because, you know, one of the mechanisms of games like State of Survival is that while, of course, it's a pay-to-win game, it still has to give catch-up mechanisms to your non-paying or, you know, like light-paying population, because the reason why this game works for the whales is because the whales are able to kind of like compete or fight against people who are kind of like comparable. Because if this game just turns into a bunch of whales smacking each other, then it's not as fun as like, hey, the ability to like, you know, help or smack other players who aren't just whales by themselves either. So that's why they do catch-up mechanisms in games, and that's why you'll see like even within all the packs that are available for purchase, you probably would have noticed like a lot of them are increasing the rates of what they give you. Like, let's see, what's a good example here? I think all of the ones that were present before are gone. But basically, if you look at like some of the plasma core bundles and whatnot you can get. Some of them, if you look closely, you'll notice that like the rate used to be about $5 for 50 plasma. Now they're going up to about like 60 to 70 per $5. So, and that whole point of that is just to provide newer players with catch up, because your paying players will go to max level, and at that point their plasma is kind of not useful. But it does give the players that are lower the ability to quickly catch up to those higher players. So yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much all the different updates I want to share. There is a new Easter event coming soon. I think with the update, we'll have that menu available. I suspect it'll be very similar to all the Halloween or Chinese New Year events. So many different like sub events. You go through them to collect different whatever, let's say eggs probably. And then you can trade the eggs in for actual like rewards. So pretty straightforward, pretty similar. Yeah. Cool. This is Masaki from State 43. You stay classy.
Seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak, 'cause